As the title of this video pretty much suggests, this video is all about how we keep comfortable on our boat. In the Pacific Northwest, which is where we boat, it gets very cold. The water never really gets above 50 degrees, and we really have a short season. So the first thing we need on a boat to stay comfortable is heating. Now, we have not only an electric heater, but we also have a propane heater and a butane heater. And we'll show those in a minute, a little farther onto this video. Next, we actually also need lighting because it gets dark early here. And so we need both interior and exterior lights. And this obviously means that we need additional battery power for that as well. We'll show that shortly. Next, we need some kind of cooling for those couple of months in the year that we actually have, hot weather. And that's really, I think we only have 10 or 15 days a year that we really have to use these fans. But when we need them, we need them. We also have shading for the cockpit to help keep us cool. And finally, and this is maybe the most important thing, we like to eat. And so we have to keep our food not only refrigerated, especially if we're on a longer trip, but we also have to make sure we can cook the food. So we not only have propane cooktop, but also butane, as well as propane range and oven. This all helps keep things not only redundantly accessible, because you never know if you're going to run out of propane or butane or electric, and you really want to have the ability to cook your food, especially if you're 2 or 3 days away from the closest facilities. So as the sun goes down, one of the first things we do is go ahead and plug in the electric blanket, which really helps. We leave it plugged in for maybe half hour to 45 minutes to warm up the forward berth where we sleep. We also kick on the propane heater in the saloon in order to kind of warm up the boat so that we can get our PJs on and kind of get ready for bed. So I just have to show how this thing works. It's spinning so fast you can't see it. This is our new Mr. Heat. Let's see if I can let me grab something back here. Okay. These things are spinning away. Yeah. So this is the heater, and man, the thing worked amazingly well. So this is our go-to heater for the boat, and the cool thing about these is that we've figured out a way to turn them to a little less than half power. That's a large one right there, which we don't really use anymore because we've found a way with the blowers on this small one. We found a way for it to put out almost as much heat, and for our little boat we don't really need more than that. Place is a mess. I'm in the middle of reorganizing. We use the refillable bottles. And these refillable bottles, what's kind of cool about them is they hold probably 5 or 6% more fuel than the ones you get from the store, the non-refillable. These are kind of universal, and with the little buddy Mr. Heater, we can run one of those for around 10 hours, which gets us about 4 days of heat. And you'll notice anything with a sock on it here. So we've got apparently 8 of them, and a couple of spares we use out for the barbecue. We're just running these down, then we'll just rely on the refillables. But not only is it cheaper to run them, but they're actually very, very convenient. Anyway, that's what we're doing for propane on board. So what I'm showing here is our butane heater, And this is very quick to light, very quick to heat up, and puts out quite a significant amount of heat. This one will run about roughly 4 or 5 hours. Again, we use this in the head and occasionally in an aft cabin area, but basically it's a smaller heater. You don't get as many BTUs of output, but it's very, very convenient. It's very small, folds up into almost nothing. And the same butane that runs this heater also runs the butane cooktop that we use. We'll show that in just a second here. Let me turn the light out, see if we can get this in the dark here. Yeah, get a better image there. Anyway, there it is. You'll notice we have more than a few of these butane cartridges. We buy these, I guess we have quite a few. Anyway, we buy these in 12 packs, and you'll notice you have extras here. They're used for cooking, they're used for heat, and we have several of these butane stoves that we have access to. Here's, let's show you real fast what they look like. Again, we're in the middle of reorganizing in the garage, so. And here it is. Now ours are stainless steel in the boat, but this basically is a cooktop. And again, I get between 5 and 8 hours, depending upon, well, probably closer to 5 to 10 hours. Somewhere in there based on how much heat we have coming out of it. In some cases, we'll only get maybe 4 hours if we're wide open, heating a big pot. But again, the cartridges are cheap and you get them in 12 packs. Creature comfort, these cushions right here are part of our creature comfort. These cushions sit anywhere on the deck, either foredeck or cockpit, and they make an amazing comfortable place. You can actually sleep on them. Creature comforts includes, let's see if I turn on a light here. Somewhere in here. Huh. Hey, Cher. Huh? Where's our lithium battery? Oh, there it is. It's so small I couldn't see it. It's that red one. So that's a 12-volt lithium battery up there, which, by the way, plugs into the other creature comfort right here, which is a electric blanket, 12-volt electric blanket. And that little teeny battery there will run this for 5 days, which is kind of nice. After heat, the next most important thing in our boating experience really comes down to light, especially in the shoulder seasons, fall and spring, when it still gets dark out kind of early, and the sun doesn't really come up much before 8 o'clock in the morning. This, however, actually goes on and off based on this, and of course you've got different colors and whatnot, different features. You can go cold white if you want. A lot of colors. I, on the other hand, like warm white. And anyway, so we've got things like that. We are, see that? We are having fun. And yeah, we got candles going all around the boat. Okay, so dig this. Wowza. So awesome. Since many of our creature comforts rely on electricity, one of the first things we did when it became feasible at a decent cost, we replaced all of our halogen and incandescent bulbs throughout the boat with LEDs. This includes topside lighting as well, like our deck lights our running lights, steaming lights, anchor light, and the anchor light's on all night, so it's important that we don't drain too much battery power just to get these lights working. During those few weeks of the year that we actually have hot weather, and by hot weather I'm talking 90 to maybe even over 100 degrees Fahrenheit during the day, even with 50-degree water, it's still very, very hot. So shade becomes important in the cockpit, and it also requires occasionally having some air movement below decks.
Big fan over there for when it gets cold, or hot rather. Turn the light on back there. I'm going to turn this one on. There's a fan back there that turns on. Again, great creature comforts.
Here's another view of our sun awning that provides shade in the cockpit and still kind of allows a lot of flow-through ventilation. If there's any kind of air blowing, it really does the job and keeps us relatively cool. One final area that we really find important is food preparation. That's cooking and, the ability to keep food refrigerated.
Well, the sun's down, and we're just starting to okay. All right. That looks pretty good. Now another few minutes and we got dinner.
We have, of course, our 12-volt refrigerator that's in the boat itself in the galley, but then we also have a second cooler that we keep in the cockpit, and we use that also for keeping food until it's ready to be cooked.
Anyway, we have a Yuhomi, it's called, and it plugs in with this wire, and it goes to a little battery on a shelf down there that we keep. A little 100 amp hour, weighs less than 20 pounds, lays on its side, lithium. Solar charges whenever we need to, which is about once every 2-3 months. This fridge will run for 6 days. 6 days on 100 amp hours before it gets down to about 11.5 or 11.6 volts. So it's crazy efficient.
You should turn that off and start all over again.
That's okay. At the beginning, Sherry wanted a Keurig on the boat. So what ultimately happened was she got her Keurig. Happy wife, happy life. Anyway, so she got a Keurig. And I also like toast. And I've been doing my toast kind of strange. So since she got a Keurig, I got a toaster. And it turns out that both of these essentially require a little more power than I was willing to, especially at one time, more power than we had available AC-wise, especially when we're out on the hook. So what we did was we picked up a Jackery. So the Jackery, and we'll actually show these things working later. I'm assuming they work, so you'll see them work later. And it's running 751 watts. It's a 751 water. Oh, listen to the, curious about how loud the fan is. Can't even hear it with the, that's amazing.
Super quiet.
Yeah, when I compare that to, like a 1,000-watt inverter as an example. Sweet. So it turns out we do have a toaster that we'll use on board the boat.
Of course, as you can imagine, all of these electrical conveniences actually require that we have a few extra batteries and the solar panels to charge those batteries. And we do manage to charge them pretty conveniently.
So this is the solar input, and it traces down here and runs back behind this table and into our batteries, which are going to be hard to see. And then top side, we keep our solar panel right there. By the way, it's charging our batteries right now with 10 amps, which 10 amps, by the way, is absolutely everything that's needed to give us refrigeration and lights and power and you name it.
In case the sun isn't shining, or in the event we just need more power than what the sun can provide, we also can plug a 12-volt battery directly into either of our jackeries and provide input.
And he's putting out about 107, and we're picking up 101 to 102 watts. Not bad. We also charged while we were running 753 watts of AC out. So it does good pass through. It acts as a uninterruptible power supply, UPS. So if we needed to, we could actually connect, PCs and things like that to it. But it seems to be a great machine, and we're looking forward to making coffee.